Mac, when we spoke earlier, you talked about the sound, and I kind of equated that. I love when you watch a TV commercial, like, look at this picture on this TV, you gotta buy this TV, and you're looking through your TV going, oh yeah, that's great. How do you capture sound like this? It's all about sound with drum and bugle corps. So you're a sound guy, and you talked about what a challenge that was. So tell us about that.
It's a big time challenge. You think of an ensemble that has 150 members.
With an indie budget.
True.
Right.
150 members in this group, brass, percussion, color guard, and they're on a stage that's 100 yards wide, and they're not standing still. In that last clip, they were doing a standstill performance, but for the most part, they're doing a show where they're moving at high velocity from one end to the other and back and forth. So that's really difficult to capture sonically. You see these performances in person, and it makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up because it's this wall of sound with extreme dynamics. You know, symphony orchestra plays very quietly and very loudly, very dynamic. So my co-producer, John J.T. Torrios, he actually works with me at Skywalker Sound. He pulled me aside, this was probably 2009, into a small home theater room and said, I just want to play this for you. He knew my drum corps background, and he played a performance that he recorded in Northern California of the Blue Devils and Santa Clara Vanguard, which are competing groups to the Madison Scouts. And I was blown away by the clarity and how well he captured sonically these performances. And I was like, you know, how'd you do it? And he told me, and so I talked to Tom, who's my co-director on this film, and told him that I wish more people could hear the clarity of these kinds of recordings, because the typical fan just kind of goes, oh, it never sounds like it does live. But this was the closest I'd ever heard. So JT, in a large part, was an inspiration to make the film, because we decided that's got to be a key part of making the film is, you know, we want to capture and reproduce these wonderful, amazing wall of sound performances.
Yeah. You told me earlier that it had never been captured like that before. Is that true?
It's true. Yeah. I mean, DCI, the league, does their own recordings, and they do a good job, but this was sort of like one step closer. And it really comes down to the mic placement, and then also in post-production, we did a lot of work mixing the different channels and really trying to make it sound like it sounds like when you're there sitting right in the middle on the 50-yard line.